Oh my god, I was only trying to change a fuse. Steering wheel, airbag, cowling, indicator stalk, steering column cover, wiper stalk. It's okay. I had to mend this bit. The indicators weren't working. And on a little bit of investigation, it turns out that this is very common on a Toyota. What is this? It's a Toyota Aygo. It turns out it's actually exactly the same car as a Citroen C1 and a Peugeot. I think it might be a 107, the little one. So these parts are very easy to get hold of, if a bit on the pricey side. But there's a hell of a lot of them around because they're so interchangeable between those three cars. Now, I'm not actually going to have to spend anything on fixing this. I'm going to take it indoors and open all this up, where I should find some dirty, crusty, burnt copper contacts. And you can see there, ooh, that's kind of what I'm expecting to find inside. Much careful dismantling later. Here's the culprit. Those little copper tracks there, they've got all this nasty old burnt on grease and muck and dust, and that car also had a bit of a mould problem recently, so that's probably contributed to things a little bit. All that's got to be cleaned up. And also these tracks here, they make contact with these three little points. And they could also do with a good clean up. So I've got some got a bottle of ISO, got a little nylon brush, I've got some decent quality scouring stuff. It's not supermarket stuff, you know, it's car shop stuff, and some of Rachel's ear scourers. Let's see how that cleans up. Right, well that's the grease off. You can see what's left over. Just got the grease off using the ISO. And these cotton buds, you can see the nasty stuff that came off it. It's kind of green. That's the initial muck off. But as you can see, we've still got some pretty severe tarnishing going on. So I'm going to give that a quick rub over with that one, because that's the least abrasive, I think, of the lot. Start light, and we'll see how that finishes up. Right, I'm not actually 100% happy about using that. It's very catchy and draggy, if you know what I mean. And I've got to clean that bit of verdigris off there, look. Where's my finger? There it is, look. That's got to come off. And I'm using this thing, and it's catching and pulling. And I'm not quite sure how thick or thin potentially those copper tracks are. So I'm going to stop using that. I'm going to give it a quick go with a bit of wet and dry. See if that's a bit more gentle. I don't want to snag it. Now if you can see that little black, now all the muck's off, you can see that little black line there, and on this track, I've already been scratching at that one, but you can see that black line there. That's where the actual points make contact. So as clean and shiny as it's kind of looking, I do still sort of need to get rid of that without obviously taking too much material away. So I've even abandoned the wet and dry, and I'm using this, what is it, an awl? Yeah, an awl, brad awl. I'm just using that to lightly scratch away. Beautiful. All nice and clean, all of that muck's off. I just need to do something very similar to the three little points here, and I can reassemble it all. We'll shove it back on the little Mario Kart, and see if it's worked. So far so good. Steering wheel, always helpful. Now, stupidly, I've just gone and put the steering lock on before reattaching the airbag. Now, it's important when you're doing this, it's very important, because it's a pain in the butt if you haven't got the equipment to put it right. Once you've taken the keys out of the ignition and you disconnect the airbag, if you put the ignition back on before reattaching the airbag, it will throw up a fault. It will throw up a fault which won't go away until you've connected it up to the relevant reader and cancelled the fault. I don't have one of those readers, so it's very important, although it's slightly inconvenient that I'm now stuck at an awkward angle. I don't want to go sticking the keys in there. I might be able to get the steering lock off without actually engaging the ignition. Don't want to risk it. Let's see if I can get this airbag back on without blowing my own face off. Right, the airbag's all reconnected now. It's joined back up to the rest of the system, so I should be safe to put the key in and take off that steering lock. Hang on, I'm going to need two hands, aren't I? Dickhead, what am I doing? Oh, and there you go. I was being overcautious. I've got the steering lock without even engaging the ignition anyway. Better safe than sorry. Right, let's finish this off. Not much more to go. Righty-ho. It's all back in one piece. Oh no, that works. All good. Let's see if it cancels. Yep. Let's go left. Lovely. Just check the wipers are all connected. Yeah. Tally ho, here we go. Nice one. There you go. If you've got a Toyota Aygo or a Citroen C1 or a Peugeot 107 and your indicators stop working, that's what it is. See you later.